Is that something that's on your mind a lot? The idea that you've been around for such a long time and now there's really young guys that are making waves in our scene, and just hoping that not only that you hang with them, but you can also win against them as well.
Yeah, I mean, being aware of that as a competitor and being actively still in the scene on that side of things. Um, I mean, yeah, the new talent comes in. I've seen so many dope b-boys coming up now as well, and throughout the years, I've seen so much talent come and go. Um, Definitely, I mean, you have to be on your toes. You have to stay on your toes, and you got to be ready at all times. But with me being seen, it's what makes it. It could be a double-edged sword on one side, because I've been around people automatically put you in the spot that you're only getting on because of your name. But I approach that differently. I think that once you have a name, it's harder to keep it and stay at that level, and be able to maintain and keep up with your movements and continue to evolve your movements. It's easier to just run back and do everything I've been doing for years. But my goal has always been to evolve, and my goal has always been to bring new steps to every battle that I do, whether it's a new move or a new thing, or just do things and challenge myself to do things that I haven't done in battles for a long time, or things I've never even attempted in battles. That way I still try to stay fresh and renewed every time I hit the battlefield, because yeah, with my experience, yeah, I could go into a battle and do all the signatures I've had for years, but I don't find the enjoyment in just running it exactly the same way, right? You're gonna do the move because that's what you're known for, but I want to find new ways into it and new ways out of it and new ways to utilize it in today's time and the way that I'm moving now. So for me, that's the challenge, and that's sort of what kind of well, that's what keeps me battling, and that's what keeps me, bringing it to these younger guys and stuff. I mean, obviously they're way more dynamic, explosive, and just have so much energy and amazing movements nowadays that it does make you question, like, what can I do against this? But that's the challenge, right? That's that question you got to answer for yourself with the way that you grow in this dance and the battle mentality and the approach to battle. And do you still want to do that? Do you still want to challenge yourself at that level? And if you're up for it, then that's what you got to go for, and that's where I'm at.
Sounds like the hunger is there still.
Yeah.
How do you keep the hunger there? Because there must have been times where you've had the ups and downs, where you've
Mhm,
been riding those waves of like, I'm winning all these major events,
mhm,
and then you may be on a slide, and
mhm,
then the older that you are, the harder that it might be to keep it at a consistent level.
mhm.
So how is it that you manage that?
I mean, to stay consistent, it's just more about, I mean, for me, it's all about remembering ideas, moves, and making sure I don't blank out and lose ideas, that I've had. It's just more about polishing up on things, maintaining. Most of the time, is really maintenance, right? You're just maintaining your body, you're maintaining your understanding to breaking and what you're capable of doing at the moment that you decide to get back into it, right? For example, if I travel for like 5 months, at the end of those 5 months, I will not be able to do a lot of the things that I was doing prior to the traveling. So like being okay with that and accepting that there's certain things that I can't do right now at this moment. I will get back to those moves again, but at this moment I have to accept that I can't do a lot of things that I would want to do in certain ways. So, fatigue, muscle loss, like there's a lot of things that go on when you're not as consistent, but accepting where you're at and working around those weaknesses and working around where you're at that moment. So understanding what strengths you do have and utilizing and maximizing those strengths to the best of your ability is what keeps you consistent and what will keep you relevant in the way that you're moving, right? Because it's about style. Breaking is all about style. Yeah, you could have crazy moves, but you have no style behind the moves, you're not going to survive in this dance. Is not something that will last forever because moves fade, but style doesn't. So the moves, as you age, you lose a lot of moves, but your style stays growing forever. And that depends if you want to keep evolving that, right? And you want to stay in that mindset. But for me, when it comes to that, it's just more about with staying on it, or being consistent, or what keeps me driving. For me, it's the idea of breaking, just the whole mentality of being a b-boy. It's like, yeah, you're a battle cat. Breaking's about battle, and it's been a battle dance since the beginning, and for me, that in itself is what I represent. I'm a b-boy, so I gotta always be ready test myself. And if I want to talk that shit, or you want to talk shit as like being in the scene, then I got to be able to back it up, right? If I want to critique people, if I'm going to be judging people and telling them their weaknesses, then I got to be willing to step up to the plate and level up on my weaknesses, right? And so just that whole mentality, but also the biggest piece that keeps me driving is music. You know, I always have to find new beats. I always have to find new instrumentals. I hear a new track that I hear on somewhere, maybe somebody played it somewhere I went, and it's just a dope beat that I feel like I want to dance to. Then I go find the instrumental, or I go find music and new mixes, new sound, and that's what keeps you moving, because this is a dance. And throughout the years, the music is something that I've always gone back to find inspiration and energy and just the feeling of movement, right? Because music is what moves us. One side is the physical and the dynamic side of wanting to level up on crazy moves, but then there's that stylish part where you still want to look fresh when you're doing it, and that comes through music and fashion, right?